There is a bad culture that is cropping in our country, a culture that must be eradicated forthwith, or else we are sitting on a time bomb that will soon explode. This is a culture of taking law in our hands and trying to solve things our own way. And this culture has been initiated of recent, tolerated and perpetuated by three people. Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, the majority leader in the National Assembly, who is also the Kikuyu Member of Parliament Kimani Ichungwa, and Nyoro. On Wednesday, Goons invaded a farm of the former Olympic champion in the marathon, Kipchoge Keino. Apparently, Kipchoge has a 195-acre of land that hosts Olympic committee and a stadium where athletes will always prepare before they go for competitions. And this land is in dispute. The dispute started in 1990 when Kipchoge Keino bought this land from a family, and this family claimed it, and the records that we are given is that back then in 1990, Kipchoge Keino settled with this family in court, and he bought for them an extra 20,000 acre of land somewhere, and they settled it. But then it seems that the matter was not resolved. They are claiming out of the 190 acre of land, 195 they are claiming 70 thousand. They are claiming 70 acre of land from the 195. It is reported that Kipchoge has a court injunction because this family wanted to invade this land. Despite that court injunction pending a hearing in court, it seems the family sent goons who invaded part of that land, part of it that they approximate to be about 70 acre, the amount that they claim. And so the family is now appealing to the government to resolve this matter. And I'm saying that this is the gospel according to Kipchoge Keino's family. But the rules of natural justice demands that the other family who is in dispute must also be heard. And that will be heard in court. My problem is that when this matter was still pending in court, goons have got the guts, the audacity to go and invade someone's land. And I'm saying this is a culture that has been perpetuated by the three people I mentioned to you. You still recall how they planned and perpetuated the invasion of Uhuru's Northland farm. I'm saying this because Kimani Ichungwa warned that if Uhuru would continue to interfere with people's businesses, they also have businesses and farms that would be invaded. And true to his words, goons invaded, took away sheep and cut trees and everything. So when we see this culture, they are borrowing it from what they had seen. They have seen how the first family is being harassed and intimidated. And so they thought, whenever you have a dispute, you can always organize yourselves in groups of goons, carry weapons, go and invade that farm. Because they have already fenced it. And as I said, I don't know who is right and who is wrong. What I'm trying to lament about is the culture of not waiting for the right procedures to take natural course. You have seen it trickling down to a situation where we have mob justices. Whenever you suspect that somebody is wrong, then you will always go and take matters in your own hands. And this is very wrong, ladies and gentlemen. It is something that must be condemned. The issue of land is part of the historical injustices that we have not resolved. And I blame our members of parliament from both the government and the oppositions. On this, I will take a stand. Both of them are not doing their part. Because we've got reports that they are lying on, they're sitting on. The Ndumu report. And this is a challenge to William Samoei Ruto. As a president, you have always said that you are on top of things. Why can't you open the reports so that we know? It is high time people come out in the open, see what happened, so that people can forgive each other. We cannot be sitting on speculations. Nani alichukua shamba la nani? We are squatters kwa sababu shamba letu lilichukuliwa. It's a time bomb waiting to explode. People will always use it for campaigns and to rub people, to set people against each other. Why can't our parliamentarians, especially the majority leader in the National Assembly or the majority leader in the Senate, they've got the numbers. Why can't they sponsor a motion to compel the government of the day, they are the government, to compel the president to make open the reports, so that we don't have to hide under certain speculations and we have to do things the proper way, the legal way. Because what if the person whose land is invaded also decides to organize goons? Because you know what happens with goonism is just amount of money that you have. There are goons for hire. Today you invade my shamba, I will also look for some goons to retaliate. And then what happens? In the end, innocent lives will be lost. Youth that are supposed to channel their energy to the right direction, in the right things, kill each other kwa sababu ya mabwenyenye. And I find this very erroneous. We must also produce and cultivate a culture of respecting court orders. And the reason I'm blaming the government, I'm not saying that the position is impeccable, but I have seen when the courts ruled that they illegalized the 50 members of CSs, but the government still went ahead and they continued working. And when people see government, the executive arm of the government, not respecting the orders of the courts, of the judiciary, then they will always fall in the same trap. I remember when the courts ordered that Babu Wino, when Babu Wino was abducted and he was arraigned in court, and the courts ordered that he pays some bail, cash bail, then be released. He immediately the courts ordered, as they were trying to procure, the friends and relatives were trying to procure his release and paying the cash bail, he was rearrested against a court order. We have rendered court orders useless. And this is what I'm complaining about. Our leaders must be role models. Whatever they do must be an exercise that will always bring peace and tranquility in an already volatile country. We must behave with civility. We are a civilized country. But when people see a government that always uses force whenever you are reading differently from their political ideologies, that when you go to the streets to lament and complain about something that you don't agree with, you will be killed. Just today, there's a meal paraded a number of dead bodies, caskets that are victims of police brutality. Why? Because they did not agree with the government and they were telling the government reduce the cost of living. So when a society realizes that the only way to solve our problems is that you beat your enemy, as long as you're not in agreement on a topic, on an agenda, on some matter, then you can always beat them and kill them as long as you have some powers above them. And this is very bad. I will repeat for the very last time that William Ruto has an opportunity to unite this country. And uniting a country must start with him. Let us not try to rely so much on guns and authority of the police. They don't last forever. You know, there comes a time when people say enough is enough. From where Ichungwa and Nyoro and the deputy president sit, and they see such things happening, does it even occur to them that they are the perpetrators, that people learn from what they did? If an immediate former president, an immediate commander-in-chief can be frustrated, they don't even respect his property, then who, an ordinary man like you and I, what will happen? The invasion of Kenyans property must be resolved. If there is a matter that is lying in court, let them wait for a court case. The last point, ladies and gentlemen, let us trust our courts. If we have courts that will always be bribed, in the words of Ahmed Nasir, Grand Mullah, our courts cannot be trusted. They are bribed. And so maybe people don't have faith in our courts because they have demonstrated that they can never be trusted. And in that manner, people will always try to take matters in their hands. I have seen people claim that if someone is stealing around and a group of you kind of do what we call civilian policing, then you take them maybe to a chief's camp and you think that they will be arraigned in court. After 2 days, they have been released. Their guardians will come and pay 5,000 shillings or 10 and they are released. And you meet our Kora Mtani and they will kill you because you thought that the police would help them. Or when they go to court, the courts are bribed and they are released. And so people say that there is no need anyway of taking them to the police, of taking them to court. And so what do? They try to kill them. They just say, let's kill them. Because if they know you are the one who took them there, you surrendered them to the police and the police is compromised and they are left free, the thieves are left, then they will come for you. And so we must have honest institutions who perform their duties diligently without favor. Let the Kenyan government get into this so that we don't have unnecessary bloodshed. I know history of land. Even in the villages where we stay, people just, with any altercation involving land, people butcher each other instead of listening to the right procedures and allowing the right procedures to take place. And ladies and gentlemen, we need to live like civilized people in a civilized society.